Ludwig, thank you for introducing me to baseball. The World Series was insane. It is crazy that I introduced you to baseball because I started watching baseball last year. That is crazy. I started watching baseball genuinely last year. I thought baseball was boring as fuck. Okay, so here's the thing about baseball. And I say this having watched like 7 YouTube essays and having done no other research. I think baseball's had periods where it is boring as fuck. And we just happen to be in one of the most exciting times of baseball. But like there's been very exciting times in baseball, and then there's been boring times in baseball. It goes through eras. And right now we're at an exciting era. I think a lot of it's because the rule changes, you know, stealing is easier, pitching is quicker, games go faster. But also the names, you know, the Shohei Ohtanis, the Aaron Judges, the Vladdies. So I think it's a mixture. Who watched the greatest World Series of our lifetime? Who watched Game 7 at the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Canada, where the Dodgers made a miraculous comeback? A miraculous comeback against the Blue Jays to go back-to-back, crushing the Dodgers' hopes. And look, I want to say this up top because I know a lot of Blue Jays fans are sad, but I want to bring up a counterpoint. Dodgers fans had to wait 365 days for this moment. We needed this. You don't understand, man. We had to wait a year to be able to lift that trophy. That is pain that many fan bases don't understand. And if we don't three-peat, half the fans that show up to Dodger Stadium are going to stop being fans. So we need this shit. We need this shit. Lockout is coming next year. Yeah, I don't think. Look, if we sign Skeens, maybe. Depends if we get greedy. But anyway, chat. I was at the game. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I've been spamming posts on Instagram detailing my adventures. Because this year, well, let's cut the bullshit. I did not stream in the month of October. Let's call a spade a spade. I said October might be a horror game month. I might try to go live every day or some shit. Didn't do that. Didn't even come close. I didn't even come close. I don't know how bad the damage is. I haven't looked yet. Let me look. Let me look at just how bad the damage is. I barely streamed. And the streams that I did do, for being candid, a lot of them were sponsored. Why? Why did I stream 82 hours when 30 hours were literally sponsored? I feel like I have 2 good excuses here. I feel like I have 2 good excuses. Excuse number 1, there was a lot of drama. I'm not bringing it up. I'm just saying there was. Streaming was not as fun. I won't lie. It's not as hype. 2, there was Dodger baseball. All right. And so I think I must have gone to like 10 baseball games in the month of October alone. I went to so many games. I just kept going. And then it got addicting. I spent a ridiculous amount of money. I'm embarrassed to say the amount of money, but I spent a ridiculous amount of money on tickets. I spent an embarrassing amount of money on tickets. I don't want to say it. It's an Can I not just end it at an embarrassing amount? It's a lot. Okay? It's a lot. We'll get to it. Relax. We'll get to it. But anyway, for the World Series, okay, I had gone to the World Series for the Dodgers last year. I went to the home game against the Yankees. I think where Freddie Freeman hit the walk-off. I think I went to that game. But I went last year. Okay. I went last year to the World Series. And honestly, when I went to the first couple of playoff games, right? Because the playoff for the Dodgers is 3 rounds. It's like the NLDS, NLCS, and then the World Series. Based off how the previous 2 series had gone, I thought it was going to be a 4-0. I thought the Dodgers, based off everything I was seeing online and seeing in person, were going to steamroll their opponents into a 4-0. And so I got a bunch of tickets to go to the game because I wanted to see the final game. I think I literally predicted to be a 4-1. You're dumb as hell for that. I don't think I'm alone in this, by the way. Okay? If you look at betting odds, the odds for the Dodgers to win the games, because there's betting lines for every game before they happen, they were like 65% favorites. They were like 2-1 in betting odds. I'm not talking about people's anecdotal opinions. We're talking about where people put their money, Famously a reliable metric. Hold up. I think it famously is a pretty reliable metric. I'm not saying it's perfect, mind you, but I do think betting odds generally are a pretty reliable metric. It's a much more reliable metric than Skip Bayless. or any other of your favorite commentator. The aggregate of where people put their money is a pretty good indicator. I think generally, I don't think it's a crazy. Do you have a better one? Vegas lines, yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Vegas lines are better. The Dodgers are in the World Series this year. I had gone to their divisional series and their championship series in the National League. And then I was going to all the home games here. And that's where, there was the 18-inning game, and then they got fucking destroyed twice. Because the series are so electric, I decided to impulse purchase tickets to Game 7. Now, I purchased this after Game 5 was lost. So basically, Game 5 was lost by the Dodgers. The Dodgers had to win Game 6 to take it to Game 7. So I bought the tickets to Game 7. The way that works is if the Dodgers had lost Game 6, then I would have been refunded my money. And if they won, I would have to go to Toronto to take the value of my ticket. All right, I impulse purchased it. And just the way that certain tickets work when you buy resale tickets is you have to buy them in pairs a lot of the times. Oftentimes they don't sell you individual tickets because it's harder for the seller to sell 2 individual tickets than wait for somebody who will buy both. So I bought a pair of tickets, and actually the only person I wanted to bring, the person who I asked to go with, was the person who brought me to my first baseball game almost 20 years ago. 18 years ago, my mom brought me to a Red Sox game, July 4th, 2007. Okay, I think she had won the tickets in a raffle, probably understood the game less than her at the time. And she was a French immigrant who had never watched baseball ever because baseball's not a big sport in France. It's just not. No, nobody's watching it. Why? I was a why do people watch baseball guy. All of this changed 15 years later when I went to an Angels game in Anaheim when I lived maybe 20 minutes away from the stadium, and I watched a mid-20s Shohei Ohtani do some crazy shit. Now I'm going to come clean. The only reason I liked Ohtani at the time was because he was a Japanese man doing electric shit, and I like Japan. I'm going to come clean. We know this is not a shock. This is true. I'll call a spade a spade. Ohtani was on the Angels putting up world record numbers, and then his team would exit the 162 game season with one of the worst records ever done by a team ever. It was truly a sight to see. Will you get season tickets? Yeah, I will. You know what? Because not only would it allow me to go to more games, it'd also just be cheaper. It would be so much cheaper. The amount of money I spent on Dodgers tickets this year is $100,000. It's a ridiculous amount of money. It's a ridiculous amount of money. I spent a gross amount.